Okay, drawing this drawing of isometric, just begin by drawing your construction line. Let's mark this as our center point. Let's measure angles. (90°), 30°, 30°. Okay, now we have been given the distance of 154 millimeters, which equals to the distance of 15.4 centimeters. So we measure 15.4 there, but we have been given the distance of 5.4 from here to here, then from here to here 4.6 centimeter, 4.6. Then we have been given the distance of 1.8 centimeter, okay. Then we have been given this distance here, this distance from here to here. Now in order to identify this distance, once we look the radius of drawing this small semicircle, which is 18 millimeters from the center to this point, then we have been given the distance of 6 millimeters. So once we plus 18 with plus 6, which equals to 24 millimeters from this center point here, then we will get 22. Once we plus, it will be 24, but once we minus 46 with 24, we will get 22 millimeters. So we measure 22 millimeters from the end of 46 millimeters, so 2.2 millimeters. Now from 2.2 centimeters. Now from this point here, we need to draw the line which is vertical, but it is parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, so we have been given the distance of from this point to this point, it is 1 centimeter. So we measure 1 centimeter from there to there. Now from this point here, we need to draw a line which is parallel to this line. Okay, thereafter I need to measure the distance from this point here to this point, which is 0.6 centimeter. Zero 0.6 centimeter. Okay, now from this point of 0.6, now I can measure the radius of 1.8 centimeter. I will get the center point. .8 centimeter. Now I have get the center point of drawing this semicircle. Now, in order to draw this semicircle, I need to draw a box. Okay. Now I can draw that box. Now from my center, I will measure radius of 1.8 this side also. Then from these points, I will draw the vertical lines which are parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, now from my center point here, I will measure also the radius of 1.8 up, 1.8 down. 1.8 up, 1.8 down. Then from my point I draw a line which is parallel to this line. Okay, now I have already get my box, which is from this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner. Now from this corner I will draw a line to this a half. Then from the same corner to this a half. From this corner to this a half. From this corner to this a half. Okay, now I'm going to draw my semicircle, but the semicircle, it will connect to this line here and this line. So by using my compass, draw a line from this point okay. Now from point of intersection here, I will draw a line from this point to this point. Okay, and that is my semicircle. Now I may connect it here. I may bold my lines. Okay, then to this point, then to that point. Okay, now from this point here, from this point here I need to measure the distance of this one, the distance of 10 millimeters, which is 1 centimeter here. Now from this point I will draw from this point to this, and this point I will draw the line which is vertical, which is parallel to these lines. Okay, but the distance from this point to this end is 72, but the distance from here to here I don't know it, but the distance from here to here it is 20. So once you take 72 minus 20, you will get 52. 52, once I will divide it by 2, I will get 26. Now I will measure 26 from here to here, then 20, then 26. So 2.6 centimeter. Then I measure 20, which is 2 centimeter, then 2.6. Okay, thereafter from this point I need to draw, from these 3 points I need to draw a line which is parallel to these lines here. Okay, then I've been given the distance from here to here, which is 10 millimeters. So I will measure 1 centimeter from there to this point. Then from my point here I need to draw a line which will be parallel to this line. Okay, then from this point here I need to draw a line which are vertical and should be parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, from this point here I need to draw a line also which is vertical and should be parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, now from there I can bold my lines. Also from this point I need to draw a line which is parallel to these lines. Okay, now we are going to draw the big semicircle which has the radius of 28. Now by using the same procedures, from the center point here we will measure the distance of 2.8 each side, this side, this side, this side, and this side. So 2.8. So from here 1, 2.8, then up and down 2.8, 2.8, then from there 2.8 here. Now from my points here, okay. Now my box it is from this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner. Now from this corner I will draw a line to this a half, from this corner to this a half, okay, from this corner to this a half, from this corner to this a half. Okay, now my semicircle needs to connect to this line here and here. Now by using my compass, from this corner point I will draw a line from this point to this point, but my line will start at this point, okay. Then from this point of intersection between this line and this line here, I will draw a line from this point but my line will start at this point, okay. Then I can bold my line from here, okay. Then from the end point of our drawing here I will draw a vertical line going upward which is parallel to all vertical lines, Okay, then I will prolong my line. Now I can bold my line from this point. Okay. Now thereafter, from my point here where I measured 18 millimeters. Now I'm going to draw a vertical line going upward, which will have the distance of 82 millimeters. Now first of all, I draw my line, which will be parallel to all vertical lines. From my point. Then I measure the distance of 8.2. 8.2. Okay, then from this point I need to draw a line which will be parallel to these lines. Okay, now I need to identify the center point of drawing this axe, but the distance, once you will call the distance from this point here to the end of the drawing here, it is 72. Now this means from this distance here where we measured this distance, where we have measured 8.2 from down here, we need to measure the distance of 72 again, but we have been given the distance from here, this point here, to this point, it is 54. Now we can identify the center point here, due to we take from the end now of 72, we need to measure 5.4. We need to measure 54 millimeters. Okay, all we can take 72 minus 54 millimeters. Okay, 18. Now we can measure the distance of 18 from this point coming to this point here. Then we will get the center point of drawing this axe. Now we measure the distance of 18, 1.8 there. Now there we can, it is the center point. Now in order to draw this cycle, this ellipse, we need to draw boxes. Now how are we doing our boxes? Now we need to draw a vertical line which will be parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, then after we need to draw a line which will be parallel to these lines. Okay, now there we can draw our boxes. Now let's begin by drawing the small ellipse. we have been given the diameter of 18. This means radius of 9 millimeters. Now we measure the radius of 0.9 centimeter each side. 0.9, 0.9, and this side up and down 0.9, 0.9, 0.9. Okay, now from these points here we need to draw a line which will be parallel to this line. Okay, then from these points we need to draw a line which will be parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, now that is our box, which is from this point, corner point, to this corner point, to this corner, to this corner. Now from this corner point we draw a line to this a half. In this corner point we draw a line to this a half. This corner point we draw a line to this a half. This corner point we draw a line to this a half. Okay, now from this corner point we need to draw an arc from this point to this point. Okay, then from this point here we need to draw a line also from this corner to this corner. Then from point of intersection of these two lines we need to draw an arc from this corner to this corner. Then from this point of intersection also we draw an arc Okay, now we are going to draw the big ellipse which has the diameter of 36. Okay, also we can do the same procedures. We measure the radius of 18 millimeters each side, but before drawing that we need to identify the distance of these lines here. These lines, once you see, has the dimension of 10 millimeters from here to here. So we can measure first the distance of 10 millimeters from our center point here, which will be 1 centimeter. So we will measure 0.5 centimeter, 0.5 centimeter, which will give us the total of 1 centimeter. So there and there. Then we drop them, we draw vertical lines. Okay, then now we can draw our box, which has a radius of 1.8. So 1.8, 1.8 this side, 1.8 this side, then 1.8 up, then 1.8 down. Okay, now from these points here we are going to draw the line which is parallel to these lines. Okay, also from these points we need to draw a line which is vertical and should be parallel to all vertical lines. Okay, then our box is from this corner to this corner to this corner to this corner. Now from this corner we draw a line to this a half. Also from this corner we draw a line to this corner. From this corner we draw a line to this a half, and here we draw a line to this a half. Okay, now we can begin drawing our arcs. From here